Welcome to the Raging Takes podcast with your hosts, Brian Dixon, Kai Zabo, and Dylan Peters.
What's up, you turkeys? The double turkey. I always love the double turkey. Welcome back to Raging Takes. This is episode 136. What's today? Today is January 4th, 2025.
New year.
This is our first 2025 episode, if I'm not mistaken. With me, as always, is my co-hosts, Brian Dixon and Kai Zabo. How you guys doing today?
Salutations.
Hey.
Always.
Everybody.
Listen, there's always salutations. Here, you can come here to get salutations unlimited.
Absolutely.
Today's a little bit of a fast episode. We got a lot of players sitting out. We got a lot of teams with nothing to play for. We got a few teams with everything to play for. So how we're going to start this episode out is with the raging question of the day. With Saquon Barkley resting this week, I think it's been noted he's resting this week.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys think that the Eagles are doing the right thing and sitting him, not letting him go for the all-time rushing record? And do you think he'll have another opportunity like this to where he has a chance? He's this close.
Go ahead, Kai. You're the Eagles fan here. So.
I mean, in regards to them doing the right thing, yes and no. Yes, this is the logical thing to do. I mean, the Eagles have nothing to play for at this point. It would make no sense to throw him out there, risking him the injury. But at the same time, though, he might not get another chance like this again, even though this is probably the best team that he's ever played for, the best offensive line that he's ever played for. Sure, he might have another monster year next year, but will he be close to 2,000 again? I'm not sure. But yeah, they are doing the right thing at the end of the day. I mean, Barkley, initially he sounded like he was okay with either decision, and then he kind of went through the motions this week as far as I know. Like at one point he said he slept on it, thought about it. His whole family was kind of like encouraging him to try and go and do it. But now it sounds like he's at peace with the decision that Nick Sirianni made.
I mean, more likely than not, this isn't going to happen again because the 2,000 yards is a shit ton. Like he could have a bunch of good seasons in his career for the rest of his career and still not even get close to 2,000 yards. So the likelihood of this happening again is very low. Doesn't mean that the Eagles should risk his health and giving him that. If he's okay with not playing, I think this is the best move for sure. Now, if he really wanted to go out there and try, I think the Eagles should have let him try. But if he's cool with sitting and trying to win a Super Bowl, I think that's the correct decision. So I honestly think the Eagles are doing the right thing here.
This was a final quote by him too.
Sure.
From his last interview. So it says, "It was an opportunity to imprint my name in football history. Might not ever get an opportunity like that again. But at the end of the day, I don't care for putting the team at risk." So I think this is where his mindset is at right now. I think Super Bowl might feel just as good as breaking that record, maybe.
Better.
Yeah. But I mean, I think we all know at the end of the day, I mean, this is really what matters to me. I mean, we all know that if Saquon Barkley plays this game, he probably shatters that record. And that's good enough for me at the end of the day. I mean, we witnessed one of the better running back seasons that we have in the recent years.
Yeah. As for the opportunity, I don't think he will. I think he'll have another opportunity, obviously, because he's going to step on the field again. But that being said, this kind of year is crazy. That would be another 300, 400 touch season. Probably near 400 between, being on the field, receptions and all that. Is it the right thing to do? I don't necessarily think so. I think giving him the shot, and I think it is because it's like 100-something yards. I think if this was like a 17-yard thing, they'd be like, Saquon, get your ass out there and get it in 3 carries, But this could take 30 carries, and it could not even happen, technically.
True.
But it could also take like less than 10 as well. That's a sad.
Yeah. So I guess it is up to Saquon. It would be I believe it would be his choice in the end. I believe Nick Sirianni probably said, "What do you want to do?" And he came up with, I'm okay with it. So
yeah.
I would like to see it happen. Don't get me wrong, because, as football fans, you want to see records broken. You want to see the guys that you've watched be drafted and played in college, go into the NFL and break records. You want to see that. But
yeah, that's why I said it's like yes and no for me. It's like, of course, I want to see it happen. And I mean, him doing it against his former team would almost be too poetic.
Yeah,
Oh my
dude,
gosh, I know.
Yeah. And go out there and just rush for like 450 yards in the playoffs and win a Super Bowl, and you'll feel
There you go.
you'll be just fine. All right. With that being said, not a lot of news this week, but some of the bigger news that came out was the NFL revealed its 2024 Pro Bowl rosters. So how do we feel about these rosters, guys? Do we even care about the Pro Bowl anymore?
Not really.
No.
I don't know. I haven't cared about the Pro Bowl in a really long time, but I mean, I don't know. It's still interesting to see who gets on the team, I guess. I don't know. Do you guys have any hot takes about anybody who made it or didn't make it?
I mean, there's like, of course, the usual snubs. Like I was talking to some Broncos regulars at my work, and one of them was saying that Zach Allen got snubbed. If you guys don't know Zach Allen, one of the best D tackles this year in the league, I would say.
So who made it over him? Cameron Hayward, Chris Jones, and
Matabuike.
So
it's like all three of those. That's another thing. It's like I feel like the Pro Bowl is kind of used as a gauge of like how good a player is. You're like, oh, it's a 7-time Pro Bowl player, but then we forget that this is voted on by fans. But then you think about it and you're like, hey, it's voted on by fans.
I mean, it's
the
also
people that watch the games.
Yeah, it still feels more like a popularity contest at times too. It feels like a lot of guys just get in just based on name value rather than what they've actually statistically done that season. So
it's like the ultimate eye test thing is the Pro Bowl. It's like, oh, that guy passes the eye test, you know? But I do like it. I like the Pro Bowl still. I like looking at the rosters. It scratches an itch for me, but my team only had one player make it. So how many Raiders made it there, Brian?
I actually don't know. Crosby made it. Bowers made it.
Yeah, okay.
I think that might be it. Just a quick scan. I don't see any other Las Vegas.
I mean, would you even say that Crosby had like a Pro Bowl season though too? You know,
he had a nice season.
Okay,
it was probably a down year for him, but he still did really good.
Yeah,
but that's my point though. Like, even though Max Crosby still did have a good season, maybe there was a player that did slightly better than him. That's kind of like more under the radar than him as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
that's what I mean about the Pro Bowl. Yeah,
it's like 0 Dolphins made it. 0 Jets made it. There's a lot of teams with like 6 and 7. So it's like this is a popularity contest, and it's players from the best teams. So that's why it's always more fun when your team is like really great. Like, let's just say the Eagles, right? Who made it from the Eagles?
I actually have to pull that up. I apologize.
Oh, here we go. We have Saquon, Lane Johnson, Zach Bond. Zach Bond, great story.
Hey, actually, that's a good
Pro
one.
Bowl nod. Yeah, he
deserves that's a good
Pro
one.
Bowl nod. Yeah. Cam Jurgens made it the year he's replacing Jason Kelsey. So it's pretty good stories.
Landon Dickerson too.
I would say Zach Bond is like one of those rare occurrences where like a new player finally makes it in. Yeah.
Jalen Carter made it too.
Yeah, dude. And it's like, I wonder if they're going to let Penei Sewell get like a couple passes in the Pro Bowl as a quarterback. We saw him take a snap this year.
That's true.
All in all, I used to watch the Pro Bowl a lot more as a child. And I think now it's just, I'm more focused on like all pros and like fantasy football. So
hey, it's kind of cool that Jerry Jeudy made it.
Jerry Jeudy got his first. Yeah.
There you go.
He's a starter.
Oh, wow. Really? Yeah. Like Terry McLaurin made his second, like Jaden Daniels and Scary Terry made it. That's a good story. I'm really excited and proud about Terry McLaurin. He finally got a good quarterback, and that quarterback knows how to get him the ball. So it's just like, it's the first time since 91 that Washington sent a quarterback and a receiver in the Pro Bowl at the same time. So this is
won the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, what do we say? All right.
Is that a prediction?
No, heavens no.
Heavens no.
Are you kidding?
Right, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to move off of the Pro Bowl now, if there's nothing of highlight to say about it. Do you guys have anything to say about the Pro Bowl this year?
No, I mean, even though I don't really care much for the game itself, I still do like the skill game and competitions. Those are somewhat fun to watch.
I do think it's cool they switched to flag football too.
You think it is?
Yeah, that's cool. That is what the actual game is now, right? It's flag football.
They might even play harder now, honestly.
Yeah, and it's a little bit. Maybe the players will actually want to suit up and play.
I think it's more fun for them to just go out there and just like run around with no pads on, and it's like you're playing a kid's game again.
Dude, and shout out to Kyle Juszczyk making his 9th Pro Bowl this year.
Good for him.
That's nuts.
I mean,
all right.
I was like, not many fullbacks to pick from, but
yeah, dude, but still, he's the best of the best, dude. He's the best of the best. All right, so we're gonna move into that Week 18 preview here. We're gonna start with the standings update, and that should be pretty interesting, no?
It's a little interesting, I would say. Not for me, for you two. Kai still in the lead, 168 and 88. He went 12-4 last week. Dylan's 2 back of Kai, 166 and 90. He went 14-2 last week, which was the best of all of us. I was 13-3. I'm still at 158 and 98 though, so I'm 8 games back of Dylan. I'm 10 back of Kai. Unless for some reason we differ on like most of the games this week, I don't think I have a chance to catch up. Unfortunately, we'll see how it goes. I'm just picking who wins, though. I'm not going to be trying to, just pick the opposite of who Kai picks every single game. So it's likely I'm not going to win here. So we'll see.
This is a highly interesting week when it comes to this because there's so much. There's so many players out and there's so much opportunity for these games that really mean nothing to go either way. These are season games. We're picking preseason games.
Basically, some of them.
Yeah, this is our last week too. I've decided I'm gonna get us a plaque. I'm gonna get us a plaque for this contest we do every year.
Are we starting with this year or last year?
This year.
The year that Kai's gonna win, we're gonna start.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly though, too. I mean, last year that member is not part of this anymore either. So yeah.
True. He smoked this last year, dude.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
All right, so what we got going into this week is a lot of meaningless games, but also a lot of games with a lot of meaning. So we got a lot of hot and cold football here. We got a lot of playoff scenarios for some of these teams fighting for the 7 seeds, maybe even the 6 seeds. I don't know what that is going on there, but I think it's mostly the 7 seeds and the divisions.
All right, I got it right here. So this is the scenarios. The 4 teams already locked in. Chiefs are locked into 1. Bills locked into 2 in the AFC. Texans are locked into 4. The Eagles are locked into 2 in the NFC. So nothing to play for any of those teams. The Ravens need to win. They play today. They need to win the division, I should say. The Bengals need to win to stay alive. The Steelers have already clinched the playoffs. And if Baltimore beats Cleveland, they won't have anything to play for either.
Okay.
It could be
you forgot to mention the Broncos too.
I'm still talking here.
Okay.
Broncos need to win it, and I have a long list here, Kai. Dolphins need to win. The Lions are playing for the 1 seed. The Vikings are playing for the 1 seed. The Buccaneers need to win, and they have clinched the playoffs. The Falcons need to win to stay alive. Let's see. And then these teams still have like seeding at play. The Chargers, the Packers, the Commanders, and then the Rams. It seems like the Rams are resting their starters, though, so they don't really care about the seeding. So that's how it is right now. So still a lot of stuff going on. Not every game is a preseason game, but there are going to be a few of them for sure. There's still a lot of stuff up for grabs here in the NFL.
All right. So our first game of the week, like Brian had said, was the Browns and the Ravens.
Precisely 2 hours from now.
Yeah, so that starts in a little bit. That's the Browns visiting the Ravens. We got Jerome Ford, David Njoku, and Pierre Strong all placed on IR. It's not looking very good for the Browns offense there. Bailey Zappi will start at quarterback for Cleveland.
Ooh.
Who would have thought? Where was Bailey Zappi all year?
I believe he was on their practice squad for like the last months. I think since May or whenever Deshaun Watson was out, I think maybe they signed him to a practice squad type situation.
DTR had a roster spot over Bailey Zappi. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, he was the incumbent. I mean, Bailey Zappi sucks, dude. Why are you acting like Bailey Zappi's like a Super Bowl winner right now?
He's better than DTR.
I mean, you're better than We're all better than DTR, dude. He's
no. Don't do that to me.
I think I'm better than DTR.
And for the Browns, Denzel Ward is out for the game. So with that being said, this game means a lot for the Ravens. They get the blessing of playing first. So that means that they have all of the pressure on them to win this game and solidify their division winning spot, which I believe is the 3 seed. So they're going between the 3 and the 5 seed here, probably. Somewhere like
I believe so. I believe so.
So they control their own destiny. That means that they're going to be playing hard to win this game. And this is as well a divisional game. I got the Ravens winning at home. If this game means everything, not only do they own the Browns in talent, they own the Browns in what they need to play for, coaching, every position across the board. They beat up on the Browns. So give me the Ravens to win at home.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be so cut and dry. I think the Ravens are just going to stomp a mud hole in them. Yeah, it's like you said, everything's on the line. I mean, I think the division lead is so important to the Ravens at this point. Man, there's just no way they can squander this game.
There's a 0% chance Cleveland wins this game. The Ravens have something to play for. Cleveland has nothing to play for, and they're starting Bailey Zappi, who has not played at all this season, as far as I'm aware. I think the Browns are going to be so ready to get the season over with and head to Cancun that they're just gonna go out there. Baltimore's gonna have their game faces on. They're gonna get ready to play the game. And I think this game's over by the start of the fourth quarter for sure. I think Baltimore by 1 million.
Yeah, and shout out Zay Flowers being the first Baltimore Raven wide receiver to ever make a Pro Bowl.
Wait, for real?
Yeah, as a receiver. I think they had Jacoby Jones make it as a punt returner. Yes.
Didn't they have Steve Smith at one point?
He's
the end of his career, though.
But he's the first Ravens wide receiver in their 29-year history the Ravens to make the Pro Bowl as a wide receiver. Good on you, dude. That's an awesome feat.
That's actually that's mind blowing to me because I feel like they've had good receivers like Anquan Bolden, Torrey Smith. You're telling me none of those guys made the Pro Bowl?
Both of those guys were at the end of their careers, though. They were still good, but it's not like they're at their peak for the Ravens years, and the fact that the Ravens aren't really ever been like a passing team.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Damn, I'll be damned then.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think. I saw people upset that Zay Flowers made it in over somebody, and I can't remember who people were saying got snubbed.
Dude, he's got 2 straight 1,000-yard seasons. To start his career, dude. Give him his flowers.
Hey, I get it.
Yeah. So with that being said, we are all on the Ravens on this game. Moving on to the next game that is later on tonight. It's another AFC North showdown. It's the Bengals and the Steelers. That'll be played in Pittsburgh. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to get a weather update on this as well. Sure. It's going to be 21 degrees at kickoff for this game. But it's played in Pittsburgh. So that to me says this is home field advantage for the Steelers, right?
Yes.
And if the Ravens lose, the Steelers automatically get that, or they got to win too.
No, so if the Steelers or the Ravens win, the Steelers will just be locked into whatever seed they have, I believe, which would be, the 5 seed. And then if the Ravens lose, then the Steelers need to win to get the AFC North, I believe. So likely the Ravens are going to beat the Browns, I would assume, right? So which would mean the Steelers would probably have nothing to play for except to potentially keep your division opponent out of the playoffs and be super petty with the Bengals. So will Tomlin be petty like that? I have no idea.
I think he will.
There's a chance that the Steelers still play all of their guys just to try to keep the Bengals out.
I mean,
yeah, I think it's smart to try to keep the Bengals out of the playoffs.
Yeah, because we said this last week. They're probably the most dangerous team in the one of the more dangerous teams in that playoff field. Like, this is a team that could probably beat the Bills given the right circumstances.
The other argument, though, is the Steelers probably wouldn't even have to worry about the Bengals until the AFC Championship game if both teams got there. So what do they even care? That would be another argument you can make, is if the Steelers are the 5 seed and the Bengals are the 7 seed, those two teams probably aren't meeting until the AFC Championship game. So maybe the Steelers don't care about it. This is hard to predict how the Steelers are going to play this. I really don't know. I'm personally going to pick the Bengals, though. I'm just going to assume the Steelers are probably not going to play their hardest or play all of their guys the entire game, assuming the Ravens do beat the Browns. So I'm just going to go Cincinnati. They're probably more hungry than the Steelers are right now. The Steelers are kind of struggling right now, too, and the Bengals are playing really well. So I'll go Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'm taking what?
Go for it.
No, I was going to say I'm taking the Bengals too, exactly what Brian said. These are two different teams going in two opposite directions. The Steelers have been descending while the Bengals have been ascending, basically. And all the momentum's with them right now. They're playing fantastic football. T. Higgins is a monster. Let's go.
Yeah, the last 3 games for the Steelers have been Philly, at Baltimore, and then home versus Kansas City. 3 of the best teams in the NFL. I feel like they have played shitty football too. Like, it hasn't been pretty. And somewhere in the DNA of that team, Mike Tomlin, Russell Wilson, all those guys, TJ Watt, that whole squad, I don't think they want to go into the playoffs playing shitty football, considering they have to play next weekend. They have to play next weekend on the road, if that's the case. So, well, I think what's going to happen here is I think Pittsburgh is going to pull themselves up by their proverbial bootstraps and get a win going into the playoffs, or else they're toast, dude. So I'm going to take the Steelers to win at home, home field advantage. I think that is going to be, it's going to be cold. Those fans are going to be fired up because they know they're in the playoffs. They still love their Steelers, and I think the Steelers don't want to go into the playoffs on a 4-game losing streak. I think that's a big burden for them.
That's fair.
As a team.
That's fair. Yeah.
They'll play hard. All right, for the next game, we got relatively meaningless game in my opinion, but it still means something, right? If certain things go certain ways for certain teams. We got Panthers versus Falcons. This game will be played in Atlanta, I believe. Yeah, in Atlanta. J.C. Horn is out with a hip injury. Josie Jewell is out. Xavier Legette, questionable. And Darnell Mooney is questionable with a shoulder injury. I know that there are some circumstances with this. Is Atlanta eliminated, Brian?
So Tampa needs to lose and Atlanta needs to win.
So this game could have a lot of meaning. So going into it, the Falcons must win this game.
Yes.
In my opinion, the Falcons must win this game to salvage a winning record, to salvage their own destiny in obtaining a playoff spot. Like, this is a must-win game regardless of the outcome of the Buccaneers game. I'm going to take the Falcons.
Hold on a second. I got to call you out on it. You said last episode, don't let me pussy out, Kai. You said
dude,
the
I forgot I said that.
Yeah.
All right, dude.
I'm calling you out.
I said last episode, I'm picking the Panthers to beat the Falcons next week. Said, Kai, don't let me pussy out. So I've been called. He's called the pussy card. So guess what? I guess I am choosing the Panthers.
Okay. What a turn of events.
That's how that happens, dude.
I had to pull that little Uno card, you know?
The reverse card. Wait, sir. You have said.
Yeah, with that all being said, man, I mean, I said already, I think Michael Penix is going to take this team into the playoffs, and that starts with the Falcons winning a winnable game like this to me. So go Michael Penix.
Man, okay, so you got the Falcons. Dylan's got the Panthers. Every time I pick the Panthers, they lose horribly. I don't want to end the year with another Panthers screw over, dude. So I think I'm just going to pick the Falcons and not even risk it. I don't know who's going to win this game. The Panthers always win games that you don't think that they're going to win, and then the Falcons. Who knows about the Falcons? They played well last week against Washington, though. They played well the week before with Penix. Yeah, give me the Falcons. I'll roll with the Falcons at home.
What was I thinking Tuesday, dude? What had gotten into me on a Tuesday night?
I think we were both ill.
Good night, dude. Good night. Yeah, to me, this game is probably not going to be a fun one to watch. but it does have implications. But I don't think those will matter, as we will talk about this later. Moving on to our next game, it's another divisional clash of the Texans at the Titans. Okay, the Texans being one of the more disappointing teams that have still made the playoffs this year. Good news about this game is Will Levis will start. Deontay Johnson will play. That's two things you care about. If you're a fan of either of these teams, you want to see what Deontay Johnson can do on the field with CJ Stroud. And I guess you want to see one last hurrah with Will Levis. Can he somehow fuck this up and lose us our number 3 draft pick? You know, wherever they might be picking.
And I haven't heard yet if the Texans are going to rest people, but they don't have anything to play for. So, like, even if CJ Stroud does play a little bit, I feel like we're going to see a lot of Davis Mills. Is that their backup right now?
Mm-hmm.
Could their seeding change?
No, they're locked into the 4th seed in the AFC.
Yeah, so I'm kind of I'm surprised that starters are playing at all. Then
they must just not want to like risk rust. Like, you know, you give players a week off. They already don't play well as it is most of the time. Now you're going to give them a week off.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll just play CJ Stroud the first quarter or something like that, or the first half, and then pull them for Davis Mills the rest of the way. I don't know. Is Davis Mills good enough to beat the Titans? Probably, but I don't know. Is Will Levis good enough to beat the B team of the Texans? I don't know. I don't know how to pick this game, dude. I really don't. Do either of you guys have it?
You know what? I'm just going to make it fun. Let's just pick the Titans.
Okay.
Just to do the dumbest thing possible and win games.
Yeah, I think that the Titans definitely have a chance to win this game. I feel like the Titans, they have some of the worst vibes in the NFL on their team. It's just you don't know their identity. You don't know the quarterback, the coaching. Just everything's kind of a mess. But Will Levis does have playmaking abilities. We've seen him win these games before. You know, we've seen him win, I think, 5 games now as a pro or something like that. Like,
sure, something like that, yeah.
Something like that, dude. So, that being said, I don't think that they will beat the Texans. You know? I just don't think so.
He's 5-15 in his career, Will Levis.
Yeesh.
It's just not good. It's just not really good at all. I'm going to pick the Texans to win. I think the idea behind the Texans this week is we have to get something going into the playoffs, dude. Like, they got nothing to play for, sure. I think they got everything to play for. I think they need to get Deontay Johnson integrated immediately. They need to get something going in that passing game. They need to get Joe Mixon going. They need to get the wheels moving on this team before they just get starched by somebody in the wild card round.
Also, the fact that Tajay Spears definitely isn't going to play. Tony Pollard might not play. Chig might not play. And Will Levis. I'll take the Texans too. We don't know how much CJ Stroud's going to play. Maybe he plays the majority of the game. So I'll go Texans as well.
Hey, Kai, picking the Titans, dude. What's going on? I'm just kidding. It could go either way, dude. It could go either way. This next game, talk about two teams with nothing to play for at all. Okay, so we got the Giants. Hey, they're locked into the 2 seed.
No, I'm saying the Giants. They could actually.
They got something to lose for.
Yeah, they could accidentally win this game.
They could, honestly,
dude. All right, so it's the Giants 3-13 visiting the Eagles 13-3. A tale of 2 seasons, if you will. Both teams not starting the original 22 that they trotted out there, not because they're both good. One's made the playoffs. One hasn't sniffed the playoffs in years. Just kidding. They did. But for the Eagles, we got Jalen Hurts is out. They've sniffed. They've sniffed. They've smelled. Jalen Hurts is out. Saquon Barkley will likely rest, according to Nick Sirianni. I think with all these next guys coming out, I don't think Saquon plays. Okay, so Zach Bond, A.J. Brown, Jalen Carter, Nakobe Dean, Lane Johnson, Landon Dickerson, Jordan Mailata, Darius Slay, Devontae Smith are all doubtful, which means they're not playing.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a huge list.
Yeah.
So it says these guys are playing.
Well, it says doubtful, but it says coach's decision right next to it. So that basically means out. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Eagles are sitting everybody. Kenny Pickett is questionable. He will not play. So who's that quarterback again you got there?
Tanner McKee, right?
Yeah, yep.
So we got Tanner McKee leading.
And who's the backup?
I don't know.
Who's the backup now?
I'm not sure.
I think they just signed somebody from a practice squad, I want to say. Let's see.
I'd have to look.
Eagles depth chart. Here, I'll look this up. You keep going, DP.
All right, so we got Tanner McKee. He's going to be leading a ragtag bunch of like second, third, fourth string Eagles on this one. So this is going to be an ugly game. You know, the Giants are already like basically this is the Giants versus the Giants in this game. Like, can the Giants just manage to lose, secure a better draft pick, and go into the draft in the offseason with a little bit more hope, or will they go 4-13 this year and pick probably like 7th, 8th, or 9th? Okay.
Ian Book, by the way, is the new backup quarterback.
Yeah, he was on the preseason squad. Yeah.
Wow, what a name! Notre Dame quarterback, if I'm correct.
Notre Dame quarterback.
Man, let me tell you something here. I'm picking the Giants just to be fucking petty here. I think the Giants could absolutely win this game. I mean, don't get me wrong, Tanner McKee looked great. I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles can put a significant amount of points on the board, but it's just, man, the way that Drew Lock played last week, man, he's feeling himself right now. He's going to go in there, ruin the Giants' #1 overall draft pick.
See, for me,
honestly, it would be funny for the Eagles to just lose on purpose, because then it would fuck up the Giants draft pick, and then it's like the ultimate revenge. We've already stolen your best player. He's had his best season of his career on us, and now we're gonna fuck up the next 15 years of your guys' franchise by giving you the 6th overall pick or something, and then you miss out on Sanders and Cam Ward.
Hey man, we're the Eagles. This is what we do.
Jalen Milroe, dude.
With that being said, I do think that Kai has a good point that Drew Lock could definitely kind of ride the hot streak that he's on, and like Malik Neighbors too. He had probably the best game of his career so far last week. Maybe that the Giants can just ride the hot hand and beat the Eagles, but I'm gonna go Philadelphia. I'll say their 3rd string quarterback can still beat the Giants.
Oh boy,
I'll say that.
Yeah. I'll say that, and I got to tell you, especially on the defense, this is giving a lot of new guys the opportunity to step up, and play a full game against an NFL team. So this is good scouting material for their depth pieces going into next season.
What I was going to say was interesting, though, two names left off that list. Actually, a few names, actually. Reed Blankenship, Cooper DeJean, and Quinyon Mitchell. Sounds like they're all playing. All the young guys.
All the guys without that playoff experience, without that, so you want to keep them going.
Well, so I kind of like the decision, because you kind of see how they work being like the leaders of like the 2nd and 3rd stringers in this particular game. So I kind of like that decision.
Yeah, it's good. Dude, this game is interesting because Drew Lock looked good, but also I fully expect Drew Lock to come out and throw 3 picks in this game. Give me the Eagles.
All right. Hey, we're differing on a lot of these games so far.
Yeah.
We got to make it interesting, dude.
We might get interesting here.
All right, so we're going to move on to just, ew, dude. A game nobody wants to watch, especially not Pat McAfee. So we got Jaguars visiting the Colts. Okay, so this game is not being played in Duval County, which is the other way around is the curse. Okay, so we've got the Colts hosting the Jags instead.
What is it? The Colts always win in Jacksonville? Is that what it is? Or is it the Jaguars always beat the Colts? Okay.
The Colts never win in Jacksonville. Gotcha. And they could have everything on the line with Tom Brady at quarterback and they find a way to lose. I'm kidding. I'm just going to make this one simple, dude. We got Anthony Richardson is out. Joe Flacco will start. And Josh Hines-Allen is out for personal reasons, a.k.a. he wants out of Jacksonville, most likely.
Maybe he just doesn't want to risk injury and stuff, too, and the Jaguars are just hiding it as personal.
Yeah, hiding things.
Or whatever. You don't really have to hide in the NFL, though. You could easily just say, I'm resting this player this week, and you're not going to get in trouble. It's not like the NBA or something, but yeah.
I'm going to take the Colts to win at home. Joe Flacco is still Joe Flacco, so we're going to see something happen in this game, and I just have no real belief in the Jags as a whole. as a team. Like they beat up on the lesser teams for sure, but they just get beaten by teams that are equal or better than them, even slightly. So, yeah, just give me everybody on the Colts to just kind of have a good game.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm taking the Colts too. I mean, I picked the Jaguars last week to beat the Titans, and that was enough for me. But yeah, I don't.
Mhm.
This game's gonna suck. I mean, I'm not really excited about it. I don't like either of these teams, but I do think the Colts are the better one.
Last week, the Giants, before last week, had not scored 30 points a single time this season. They scored 45 against the Indianapolis Colts. We kept saying, well, Flacco, you threw him out there against good teams. He looked really bad. You threw him out there against a bad team last week. He looked awful. Give me the Jaguars. Mac Jones to Brian Thomas Jr. I think the Jaguars beat them.
That's okay. Yeah. And you know what? It has been pretty sad because the Colts' last 2 wins in the last 5 games are against the Titans and the Patriots. And then the Jaguars' last 2 wins in the last 5 games are both against the Titans. So it's just like these 2 teams have beaten the Titans and the Patriots.
Something's got to give here.
Something's got to fucking give, dude.
The Colts are much worse than what their record shows, in my opinion, and the record's not very good either. So,
yeah, it's all in all, no one will watch this game except Colts fans and Jags fans. I'll say it again. This next game probably looked a lot better in the preseason whenever the schedules were released. We were like, ooh, that'll be a spicy game. It's Commanders visiting the Cowboys. Week 18. Commanders
I don't know if people thought that. Maybe they thought the other way around, that it would be good for the Cowboys and bad for the Commanders. I feel like people weren't picking the Commanders coming into this year.
True. But even earlier in the season, before the Cowboys unraveled, this probably looked like even maybe a good matchup. And it still could be. The Commanders opened the 21-day window for Austin Eckler, which is good going into the playoffs.
He'll be back soon.
Opening up that window, he'll be back.
Assuming that they win their first playoff game, he'll probably be back after that, maybe. Or maybe he'll be back for a wild card.
Dude, maybe. Who knows? All I know is that he has within 21 days to be activated. That could be tomorrow.
Could be.
Could be today. Could be. Marshawn Lattimore is prerequisitely out. I don't even know if that's a word, dude. A prerequisite to the Commanders playing football is Marshawn Lattimore's out.
I think he's only played, 1 game since they've acquired him?
One or two.
Like, what the hell happened?
I have no idea. I don't know. Maybe they didn't do their homework on his
apparently not
injury history potentially, or he had to have passed a physical to get the deal to pass, right? So I don't know. Yeah, he's played 2 games.
Maybe he's just on ice. Maybe he's he just needs to rest it out. Maybe he comes back for the playoffs, but he's only played 1 game.
2 games.
Okay, hasn't really affected the way that the Commanders have been playing football and winning games. They're currently on a 4-game winning streak, have ran through inferior opponents, beat the Eagles, beat the Falcons, which I feel are still inferior. So going into this game, I really look for the Commanders to want to keep it hot. I think it's the most important to this team over any other team in the NFL to stay playing at that level that they've been playing. I don't think a break is good, so I expect full games from all of these starters for the Commanders this week.
Yeah. No,
Dan Quinn kind of hinted at that too, that they still have something to play for and that they care about the seeding and that they're still trying to get the 6th seed with, they're battling Green Bay for the 6th seed right now. Yeah. So I think the Commanders play this entire game, obviously, unless they're blowing the Cowboys out, maybe they rest them at the end. But I think that the Commanders are playing to win the game. And I think the Cowboys probably have 1 foot on the airplane to Cancun as well. So I think the Commanders are going to win this game pretty easily.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking the Commanders here too, man. Just like Jaden Daniels the last 2 weeks has just been so undeniable. Like, he's been good all year, but like, man, these last 2 weeks, he's really showed me that he's a fantastic passing quarterback as well. And, the momentum is so hot with the Commanders right now, and the Cowboys look like absolute shit last week. So yeah, Commanders should absolutely take this game and ride hot into the playoffs.
Yeah, man, the evolution of the Commanders' offense has taken strides in the last 4 games. Just seeing what they're able to do, how they're able to execute between the 20s and then also in the red zone. They've gotten a lot better at that. Jaden Daniels has taken just leaps and bounds as a quarterback. He's having one of the best rookie seasons of a quarterback I've personally ever seen. Nearly 4,000 yards passing, 25 touchdowns, 9 picks so far, with a lot of production on the ground as well. He's able to crack off 100-yard games if you're not careful and contain him. I look for that to keep going. I look for him to keep all of his weapons hot, keep this offense moving, and move into the playoffs as a team that is well-oiled in their prime, in their peak of the season. I'm going to take the Commanders to win this game as well.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they're scaring me a little bit. I wouldn't lie if I wouldn't say I'm a little scared.
Should be.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Jaden Daniels is a 70% passer with a 101.4 rating over the year this year. If you were to, I don't know what you would think if somebody told you just those two numbers going into week 18, that Jaden Daniels is one of the highest rated passers in the NFL.
It's already the best quarterback in the division.
Yeah, dude. I mean, quarterback, yes. I mean, him and Jalen Hurts are pretty equal. I feel like Jaden Daniels stepped onto an NFL field as good as Jalen Hurts is already. Which is,
I think okay. That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's only going to go up.
Jalen Hurts was not this polished first coming out. That's definitely true.
Dude, and Daniels doesn't need 4 dudes pushing his butt to get touchdowns.
Yeah, 4 dudes pushing his butt, no matter who it is. That's why he brought Saquon in. He's like, Saquon looks like a good butt pusher. So are we all on the Commanders for this game?
We are.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, next one, I don't want to talk about it too much. I'm not going to bring it up too much. This is the annual Bears travel to the Packers at the end of the season game. This one's got a little bit different of a feel to it. I mean, the Bears have a chance to have lost 11 straight games to end the season, something like that, 11 or 12. So Josh Jacobs not expected to play very much. You would think that the Packers don't believe that they don't need as much help to beat the Bears. Jair Alexander underwent surgery for a torn PCL and is likely out for the season, but could come back for a playoff game. I mean, for a Super Bowl game if the Packers make it. I don't know.
For Schefter, yeah. I would say probably. If you make it to the Super Bowl without him, why even bring him back?
Yeah. Christian Watson is questionable and Quay Walker is out. Now, I'm not going to start it off here. I'm going to let you guys talk about this.
I'm picking the Packers. I'm picking the Packers. Yeah, I think the Packers are going to win. I don't even think they really care that much about seeding. I think they care less about seeding than the Commanders do, and I still think that they're going to beat the Bears.
I think they just care more about beating the Bears.
I don't think they care about that because it comes so easy. Like I think Dylan can agree. I think Dylan can agree that the Packers don't care about beating the Bears. Probably, I think certain players do. Like Aaron Rodgers definitely cared about beating the Bears, but I don't think that like runs rampant throughout the organization. I think that they get bored of it.
Yeah. This looks like just a game that is just nightmare fuel. I probably will not watch this game, even a second of it. I will watch something else on TV. Anything else on TV, I will watch season 1 of Survivor.
Good season.
Yeah. Just grainy image of guys naked on an island. I'll watch it over a Bears-Packers game at the end of the season. I've learned my lesson on this. Yeah, I'm going to take the Packers to win. Although I do look for I look for the Bears and like Caleb Williams to kind of do the same thing that they've done. Like there'll be some flashy plays in this games. There'll be some touchdown passes, but man, I don't even want the Bears to win. I don't want to pick 14th.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I don't want to pick in the middle of the draft because we won 5 games. What a horrible season it's been. We're 0-7 on the road this year. 0-7 on the road this year.
Well, most of those were played on Sunday, and you had Matt Eberflus as the head coach, so that's not too shocking.
I would rather be 0-8 on the road this year than be 1-7 on the road this year and pick 14th.
I'm with you.
All right.
Yeah.
Fuck it. This next game, Saints at Bucs. This has huge implications for the Buccaneers. This is their probably win and end game. I think it's their win and end game anyways, regardless of what the Falcons do earlier in the day. Derek Carr is out. Who cares? Juwan Johnson and Chris Olave are questionable. Why Chris Olave is not shut down this season is beyond me.
Makes zero sense.
The Saints are a terrible organization. They're ran by cats. Alvin Kamara is doubtful. Kendre Miller is out, so decimated to the run game. The Saints have nobody at running back apparently. Pete Werner, apparently a guy I've never heard of, is questionable.
Pete Werner's good. You never heard of Pete Werner?
I've never heard of Pete Werner, dude. What does he make, cartoons?
No, he's a linebacker.
Oh, okay. Forgive me. Jamel Dean and Antoine Winfield, guys I have heard of, are out for the Buccaneers. Kate Otten is doubtful.
This is pretty crazy. This was this morning. I don't know what happened.
Okay. I'm learning about this now too. Jordan Whitehead was involved in a car accident today and suffered injuries significant enough for the Bucs to place him on the non-football injury list.
Which means obviously he's out this week. But the fact that it happened today and they're already like, I put him on the NFI list is, who knows? Hopefully he's okay. So that's super scary. But just another hit to their defense as well.
Yeah, significant enough. Probably like a hand or a foot injury or a head injury. They're not going to really get into it. They don't need to get into it. This is a very personal thing for Jordan Whitehead here. That being said, I don't know if it has a huge impact on this game itself, although you pray for the man's health. Car accidents are scary. So I'm not devaluing that. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this game as a whole, everybody playing and not playing. I think the Buccaneers, regardless of who anybody trots out there, their win and in mentality should trump everything else.
They are playing extremely good football as of late, too.
And Mike Evans needs 75 yards to catch 1,000.
Yeah,
he's going to do it. I definitely am picking the Buccaneers in this game. Nothing that Spencer Rattler has shown me tells me that he's going to beat the Buccaneers when they know that they need to win just to secure the NFC South here and to keep the Falcons out. I think the Bucs have just a ton to play for here. And like I've been saying for a couple of teams this week, Saints probably have, their minds on the beach right now. So give me Tampa Bay. It's in Tampa Bay. I think the Bucs win and secure the NFC South, and I don't think whatever happens to the Falcons game even really matters.
Yeah, reality is kind of setting in here for me, fellas. As much as I want Michael Penix in the playoffs, the Saints team looks really bad right now. I didn't realize the injuries were this bad. And even though the Buccaneers have some pretty significant defensive injuries as well, Spencer Rattler is not it. He's not going to beat this team with that offense as banged up as it is, man. Yeah, Bucs are going to get into the playoffs, and they might be one of the more dangerous teams in that playoff field, too, in my opinion, with the way that Baker Mayfield's playing football right now.
Yeah. Baker Mayfield is playing at a high level, and Mike Evans is playing at a super high level. He's been better than ever, maybe, coming off of his injury. Better than he was before it, better than he was last year, in my opinion. He's probably the most impactful player. He has the opportunity to be one of the most impactful players on any team going into the playoffs, just with his dominance, his ability to score touchdowns. I'm going to take the Bucs to win this game pretty easily. I mean, with Marshawn Lattimore not being there either, who's going to stop Mike Evans? Nobody. That's the point here. Oh boy, another divisional matchup, and I got to give it to the NFL. Thank you for all of the Week 18 divisional games. It means something to us NFL fans. We got Bills visiting the Patriots. Drake May has a hand injury and is questionable. Terrell Bernard, I believe for the Bills, out with a quad injury. Amari Cooper is out for a personal family matter, so you wish the best for that. Kyle Duggar is questionable, and Christian Gonzalez is out. Hunter Henry is questionable. Now, Brian, you said that the Bills are locked in.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the Bills are locked into the 2 seed no matter what. I have not heard if the Bills are playing their starters or not. One thing that you got to keep in mind, though, is that Joe Milton took first-team snaps this week, too. So I think that even if Drake May does play, there's a chance that we see some Joe Milton. I mean, the Patriots don't need a win. So it doesn't matter if they lose this game to them, I think, personally, because they wouldn't mind having the 1 seed, which I think that they could get a king's ransom for since they're not going to pick a quarterback. They'll likely trade down. and get a lot of draft picks for that pick. So I think they really want the number 1 overall pick, obviously. Throw Joe Milton in there. If he looks good, cool. If he looks bad, cool, type of thing. I think I'm going to pick the Bills even with backups if they do play their backups, but it'll be interesting to finally see Joe Milton, which, if you recall, Kai said would start week 1 this year. One of the all-time raging takes of the show's history right there was that one. So
I don't know, that the Jimmy Butler one was crazy too back in the day.
Which one was the Jimmy Butler one?
Where I believe Mac had said that the Bucs were going to go undefeated throughout the entire playoffs.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Jimmy Butler shit on them first round.
Yeah, the Bucs got upset in the first round by the Heat.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, I digress. I'm picking the Bills, though, for sure. Even with, like, if Trubisky starts, who I don't think is actually even that bad with the Bills, I think they could definitely handle business against the Patriots, who are suffering from a lot of defensive injuries right now, too.
Yeah, Mitchell Trubisky is probably one of the better backup quarterbacks in the NFL, just from his starting experience. Yeah, the Patriots don't want to win this game. Maybe Gerard Mayo does. Maybe, the players do, but they're in a better position if they lose and, like Brian said, get the number 1 pick and then auction that off to the highest bidder, which will be a huge bidding war for Shadir Sanders. As far as I'm concerned, I know that he's looked at as one of the better quarterback prospects coming out. His pedigree's high. So, I got to take the Bills to win this game. I mean, there's no reason. There's no reason for the Bills to lose this game. I believe Mitch Trubisky's good. They still got really decent, like Curtis Samuel, Mac Hollins, Keon Coleman's probably going to play. Their tight ends are going to play. There's no reason the Bills should sit that many folks. I don't think.
So are we all on Buffalo?
Yeah.
Sadly.
Okay.
Sadly. Moving on to the next game, we have the Chargers visiting the Raiders. Okay. Amir Abdullah is out. Alexander Madison will start.
Ooh.
Nate Hobbs is questionable. He has an illness, a little sick to his belly. I don't know. And Gus Edwards is out, but that's okay because J.K. Dobbins is back. So what do we think about this game? Do the Chargers have anything to play for? I don't think so.
Do they have seating?
So it depends. They can still get the 5 seed if they win and the Steelers lose. So it kind of depends on the Steelers game.
So, I mean,
today.
If the Steelers lose today, then Chargers might be pumped up to win tomorrow.
If the Steelers win today, they probably don't have anything to play for.
Yeah, because that would solidify them again against the Texans in the wild card round if they get the 5 seed, which is a pretty solid first game.
I kind of think.
Will keep in mind too, though, that Taylor Heineke is the backup quarterback for the Chargers. Taylor Heineke can win you a game against the Raiders.
I kind of think either way, I'm going to pick the Chargers to win this game. I just think they're the better team, better coached, and they're going to want to look kind of hot going into the playoffs too.
Yeah. That Harbaugh mentality is going to keep them sharp. He's going to want to keep them sharp. He's actually probably going to get a lot of playing time for guys that he knows needs it. And he's a smart coach. Yeah, I think
Quentin Johnston.
Yeah, he needs to catch some balls. Even if you got to face him like this. Just get him a bunch of catches just like this. Stop with this. Yeah, dude, the Raiders need to lose this game as well. I think, like, as a Raiders fan, you don't want to go into the offseason with 5 wins and, like I said, pick number 16, or like 15, something like that. I'm going to take the Chargers to win this game.
So mine is just going to be based on what I think happens with the Steelers game. I think the Steelers are going to lose, which means I think the Chargers will want to play all of their guys to try to get the seeding. So I think that Justin Herbert and the Chargers will beat the Raiders. I think if Heineke plays, I think I would pick the Raiders. And I'm the biggest Taylor Heineke fan in the world. I'm not trying to shit on him. I just think the Raiders are kind of hot right now, and I think they could probably beat the Chargers backups just the way that they're playing right now. And I think the Raiders would be playing hard because I think that they want to go out on a 3-game win streak stupidly. But obviously the players don't tank. It's the organization that tanks. So I think that the Bengals win today, which means I think the Chargers play all their starters, and I think the Chargers win. So, boom. We're all on LA then.
We are all on LA, which we should be. I think they're the better team. Next game, very disappointing. Niners 6-10, visiting the Cardinals 7-9. Both of these teams were kind of sticking it out in the middle of the season. You couldn't tell who's going to come out on top in the NFC West. We know it's the Rams now. Debo, Purdy, and Diamador Lenore are out. Josh Dobbs will start for San Francisco.
Stinky.
The Pastronaut.
Astronaut, yeah.
The
Great nickname.
George Kittle is questionable, and James Conner was placed on IR. So there's going to be a lot of new faces at some of these positions.
This is a Josh Dobbs revenge game, is it not? Didn't he used to play for the Cardinals?
And why is Debo out? That's my question.
Is he not injured?
He's just not playing.
You're
he
gone.
played last week.
You're gone, buddy.
Touchdown.
You're gone, bud. This is the writing was on the wall all season, and I think we're seeing now.
Well, also, you don't want him to like tear an ACL right before the offseason too, because they probably want to trade him. So he would just lose all value, and you wouldn't be able to trade him anymore, and you'd have to keep his salary on the books.
I think this is that's true. This has a huge players like Ricky Pearsall, and guys like that have a huge, and Garendo. These younger guys have a huge opportunity to make an impact in this game, get a little bit more playing time. Maybe give the coaching staff the confidence to expand their role going into next year. I think with Debo being out and Pearsall being in, we're going to see what Pearsall can do. I think this looks good for fantasy next year. Kind of answers a lot of questions already that I think Pearsall is probably the wide receiver 2, if not 3, depending on Juwan Jennings next year in San Francisco.
Who'd you pick?
Oh, God, this is disgusting. I'm going to take the Cardinals to win this game. I don't believe in Josh Dobbs. That Niners offense is completely just in shambles. A lot of players are out. I don't see why Kittle would even play in this game, if I'm being totally honest.
He's one of those goofballs that just loves football, though, so he might just want to go out there and play just because he won't play again for 8 months or whatever it is, 9 months.
Yeah, but I think give me Kyler Murray, give me that offense, Trey McBride, etc. They've shown enough to show me they can win games, and I think this is just the stinkiest version of the Niners we've seen in a long time.
Oh, man. Yeah, this is a tough one to pick. I mean, I want to pick the Cardinals, but man, that James Conner injury, I'm just not sure how good that offense is going to roll. I mean, I know Michael Carter looked somewhat decent last week for them. Oh, man. I'm going to take the 49ers. I don't know. It's just the Cardinals are that like uninspiring that I could justify myself picking against them.
I'm going Niners too, honestly. Yeah, I don't know. I like the Josh Dobbs revenge game narrative, dude. I don't know. There's something about that intrigues me a little bit, honestly. The pass or not, baby. Come on. I'm still a Kyler guy, but he just has not played well enough this year. The Cardinals play some of the most uninspiring football I've seen so far this year. I expect them to end on a dud. I just really do. I think the season's been a dud, and I expect them to end on a dud. So I'm going to give me the 49ers.
Hey, man, a bunch of 7-10 teams in the NFC West this year. Not what we expected necessarily. So going into this next game, Chiefs visiting the Broncos. Okay, so the Broncos have a win and end situation, and the Chiefs have a nothing to play for situation. And Isaiah Pacheco, Jawan Taylor are out. Chris Jones, Patrick Mahomes, Nick Bolton, Trent McDuffie, Kareem Hunt, George Karlaftis, and Travis Kelce are all doubtful, probably not going to play, and Carson Wentz will start at quarterback for the Chiefs. Now, if this is not a tale of two teams that need two different things here, the Chiefs need rest, and the Broncos need to win, and they're into the playoffs. How does this game play out in your mind? Like,
also, to make it more nerve-wracking for the Broncos, we're already going to know what happened to the Bengals game, too. So if the Bengals win today, the Broncos are going to know that, like, we definitely need to win to keep the Bengals out. I don't think it's impossible for Carson Wentz to win this game. I really don't.
Same.
I mean, if anybody can win with like a full team of backups, like Andy Reid could somehow game plan a way to like destroy the Broncos with a bunch of backups, I think. but I don't think that's going to happen. I'm gonna take the Broncos in Denver. They know that they need this win. The Broncos have been a really good team this year. Very fun football too. I think no matter who makes the playoffs between Denver and Cincinnati, I think football fans win because both of those teams are just so fun. They play in such fun football games every single week. That's why the game last week between the two teams was so much fun, possibly the best one of the year. But I think the Broncos are good enough to win this game, and I think that they will. It wouldn't shock me if Carson Wentz goes in there and wins this game, but I think the Broncos win.
Yeah, I'm taking the Broncos too, man. I mean, they really need to win this game. They really want to win this game. And there's just so many superstars out for the Chiefs just on rest. You know, it's just like we don't know how that backup defense is going to look. Like, I think if Bo Nix can look good against starting defenses, why can't he tear up a backup defense in KC?
Yeah. That's a lot of players to be out. But whenever I look at that, it's like defensive players and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. I don't know, man. And Pacheco. So that's true. It's a lot of players out. I think I'll take the Broncos as well. If this was in Kansas City, maybe it's different. But the Broncos are going to be playing full strength, everybody playing for a playoff spot. So, yeah, I look for that Broncos defense to maybe step it up and be the dominant force in this game and maybe win this game for the Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys are losing against Carson Wentz and a bunch of backups, you guys probably don't deserve the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure.
And Brian's correct. So it's whether it's the Broncos or the Bengals, whoever makes it is good for football, is good for the playoffs. And I'll be happy with either. Be totally happy with either.
I'll be happy with either, but I'm rooting for Cincy.
Rooting for Cincy. Okay, yeah, due to my preseason picks at Super Bowl, I think the Cincy making the playoffs would be a little redeeming to that.
I also think they'd just be a tad more fun. More fun.
Yeah, on offense,
like if it was Joe Burrow versus Patrick Mahomes, you're like hyped for that game more than like Bo Nix versus Patrick Mahomes, right?
If you're gonna tell me it's the Bengals and Chiefs or the Broncos and Chiefs,
imagine the Bengals Bills, the Bengals Ravens, the Bengals Steelers. All those games are so much fun to think about.
They actually have a chance to beat anyone in the NFL. They really do.
Dude, with Burrow and Chase, they have a chance to beat literally the Bengals could easily still go win the Super Bowl if they make it in. I really do think so.
I mean, that's what I was saying earlier. Like every team in the AFC would be so afraid of seeing the Bengals enter that playoff field. Like the Bills know that the Bengals could have their number just as easy.
Honestly, this season, I know the NFL is usually really wide open. I mean, I know the jokes about the Chiefs and whatnot, but this is like the most wide open it's been in a minute. Like, I honestly, I could see like any of the playoff teams winning this year.
And you know what? I think the Bengals going back to the Super Bowl would be awesome.
Yes, I agree. It would. I think Zach Taylor would think it's awesome too, because I think that might be the only way he keeps his job is if they go back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah. They might have to win it this time, though.
Yeah, they might have to win it this time.
This next game, Seahawks at Rams, really has no implications. The Rams are not starting Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, or Kyron Williams. Jimmy G will start at quarterback for the Rams. The Seahawks are eliminated. Pretty much a meaningless game, in my opinion. And I'm going to take the Seahawks.
I am too.
Geno Smith has $4 million worth of incentives going into this game. $6 million?
Yep.
Geno Smith has probably the biggest incentives in the NFL for performance going into this game. And you know he's going to want to get it. That's a lot of money. And I think the Seahawks will try to get it for him.
Yeah. I have him pulled up right here. So if he throws for 185 yards, he will earn $2 million. If he posts a 69.7% completion percentage, he will earn another $2 million. And then if the Seahawks defeat the Rams, he'll get another $2 million.
Oh, come on. Go G. I'm rooting for the Seahawks. Go Geno.
Yeah, Geno Smith deserves it over anybody else in the NFL. $6 million as a bonus at the end of the year has got to make it sweeter knowing your future is in question with the Seahawks in general. So get as much money as you can out of them, and I'm taking the Seahawks to win on the road.
Yeah, and Jimmy G also sucks if you don't remember that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, Smitty.
Yeah,
and all of it's not only just Jimmy G, it's all of his weapons are gone too.
Yeah.
Like and you know what? Demarcus Robinson, sorry. Cooper Kupp and Puka
he's
aren't
only
on
good
the
when
field.
I was gonna say he's only good when they're on the field. So wasn't it like Whittington's okay, sure, but I don't know. I don't think the Jimmy G to Jordan Whittington connection is gonna mess this up for the Seahawks.
Nope, not at all. Stinky game to another stinky game, in my opinion.
This might be the worst one of the fucking week, honestly.
Yeah, Dolphins at Jets. I know the Dolphins are still alive in the playoff race. What is it? The Bengals and the Broncos both have to lose, and the Dolphins have to win, and they're in. So they need a lot of help. That being said, I don't see that actually. You know what? It could very well happen, if I'm being totally honest.
Yeah, and they'll know. They'll know. What am I trying to say? They will know.
They'll know
before they play.
This.
Yeah. Is that true? Yeah. Because they need the. Okay, you're right. Wait, no. They play at the same time as the Broncos, I think.
Oh, are all these games 10 a.m.?
No, this one is an afternoon game.
But we just talked about the Broncos like 2 games ago.
Yeah. I meant for the Bengals.
So they're all on at the same time. They will know by the end of the Kansas City-Denver game if their win means anything. No. That being said, I don't think
they play at the same time as Kansas City and Denver, though. The Dolphins do.
Okay, so it depends on which one of those teams finishes first.
Yeah,
we will know the
Dolphins. The Dolphins have something to play for here for sure.
They do, yeah. And I think even if they didn't have anything to play for, I'm picking the Dolphins. Although, this one deserves a weather report. It's going to be 35 degrees in New Jersey at kickoff.
Dude, I'm picking the Jets.
Are you really?
Yes. Tyler Huntley, I just I don't know if I mean, he played perfectly fine last week. It was against the Browns, who are awful. I know the Jets are awful too, but this might be Aaron Rodgers' last game, dude. Might be Aaron Rodgers' last game. I think he goes out with a win. I don't know if he's going to play particularly well. This just seems like a Jets and a Dolphins thing to happen, though. The Dolphins have had a really unlucky season. The Jets are the Jets. I realize that. I think potentially Aaron Rodgers' last game, I think he goes out on a win. I'm picking the Jets.
And this being said, Teron Armstead, Tyreek Hill, Calais Campbell, and Jalen Waddle are all questionable. Sauce Gardner is out. Quinnen Williams, Tyler Conklin, and Morgan Moses are all questionable. So there are some injury questions here. We got the weather questions with the temperature at kickoff. You know, the Dolphins don't do necessarily well in the cold. But I think that has a lot to do with Tua as well. We've seen Tyler Huntley play in the cold, so he plays a little bit differently. He's had a little bit different experience. I'm gonna take the Dolphins. I think they do have something to play for, and I think not knowing during the game will be even more. They need to win this game to control their destiny. So yeah, give me the Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm man. I think I'm going to take the Jets, too. I kind of like the whole Aaron Rodgers winning his last game just to be petty, even though he's been a dog shit player all year. Kind of like that narrative.
Hey, now, who knows? He might come back. He craves attention in the spotlight, so he'll probably be back anyways. But you never know. It might be his last game. You never know.
Yeah, I won't be watching this game, though.
No. God, no.
No, heavens no.
Heavens no.
What I will be doing is sitting down my fat ass in a comfortable seat with some snacks, with some refreshments, and watching Sunday Night Football. Vikings visiting the Lions.
Wow.
I will be watching that game. This
last
is
game
our
of the
first
year, too. So fitting.
This is actually our first playoff game. If you really look at it, this game is played for the 1 seed. So the Vikings or the Lions both have the chance to acquire the 1 seed depending on who wins. The loser will gain the 5 seed or will have the 5 seed. This is a huge difference. This is a huge difference in who you play, where you're playing, and your path to the Super Bowl being easier or harder. The 5 seed is not historically a great spot to start from to go into the playoffs. Into the Super Bowl. It's a lot of road games. It's a lot of, it's an uphill battle. So that being said, this game means everything to both of these teams.
And it's probably going to be the best game of the year.
You would hope so. You would hope so that the last game is the best game. All eyes will be on this game.
Honestly, I get your argument, but there's also an argument to me that having the 1 seed's not good too, because you get that week off. It kind of messes with you and stuff like that. So. You never know. Maybe if a team loses and they get the 5 seed, maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Because these are still probably 2 of the best teams in the NFC. I think they could easily win a road game.
Yeah, but I would say in the Lions' case, though, maybe another week of rest would help them out, considering all their injuries.
I mean, those injuries are coming back if you take that week off. Probably,
that's true
right?
too. Yeah.
So,
I mean, Anzalone might play. So
Anzalone might play. Yeah, that's a big get back for them for sure.
Yeah. I have my pick though. I'm gonna take the Lions, man, but this could honestly just go either way. I mean, I feel like this is just a pick 'em at this point. I don't know how Vegas has it set, but man, Lions are in front of the home crowd. Detroit's gonna be freaking rocking for this last game.
Oh yeah.
Detroit knows what this game means, and man, Dan Campbell, we've never seen him fired up before. This is gonna be the time.
Yeah, dude. So Detroit is favored by 3 points. I saw a statistic earlier today. It was that historically 1 seed, so the 1 seed in the AFC and the 1 seed in the NFC have a combined 49 Super Bowl appearances.
Wow.
Okay. The 5 seed in the AFC and the NFC has 3 Super Bowl appearances. So historically, the 5 seed is not a good spot to start at all going into the playoffs. I think both of these teams know that, especially with how deep and hard the NFC is going to be to win. This game means everything. I'm going to take the Vikings.
I'm picking the Vikings too. Ooh. I think I still think the Lions are going to. So I think the Lions will get the 5 seed. I still think the Lions will make it to the Super Bowl. I think they'll win the Super Bowl still. I think the Vikings are just going to come into Detroit right now, and I think they're just set up really well. They've been playing really well. The Lions have been playing perfectly fine too, but I think the Vikings have been playing really well lately. The Lions' pass defense has been struggling. I think Sam Darnold goes in there and just lights them up, honestly. I think Jefferson and Addison both have great games. I think the Lions may get their revenge sometime in the playoffs, but I think the Vikings win this specific game in Detroit. I don't think it'll hurt the Lions in the playoffs, but I do think Minnesota gets them in this one.
Yeah, it won't hurt or help either one of these teams. They're both really good teams, but this game still means a lot, I think.
It does. Yeah, I just don't think it's must win for either one of them. I think the loser will still be set up perfectly fine. I will be picking the loser to win their first playoff game, no matter who they play between the Rams or the Bucs, I think.
Hey, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
And Aaron Jones is going to play, by the way. I didn't say that. And Alex Anzalone has a chance to play for the Lions after breaking his arm earlier this year, I believe.
I believe so, yeah.
I hope he does get the chance to play because Detroit really needs it. Detroit really needs it. That being said, that's all we got for today. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I know we enjoyed it, and we're going to enjoy watching this football. If you want to have a little bit of fan interaction, if you want to talk to us, hit us up, DM us on X or Twitter, as Brian says. We have a TikTok as well. It's Raging Takes, Instagram, whatever you might be. On X, I am Such a Wise Fool. Brian is Montana Sauce, and Kai is RTP Kai. And until next episode, you degenerates, you have a great day.